Hey, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to clean the OONI Volt pizza stone. This is an electric oven, so you need to take a little bit more care when you're cleaning the stone. Not so much that the stone's different, it's just that the inside of the oven is different. So if we're doing some cleaning while the oven is cooking or while we're still cooking some pizzas, we need to take a bit of care. I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'll show you how to prepare the stone. We've already done that, so the prep will be sort of halfway through and at the end, and that'll be preparing it for the next time you use the oven. Also, I'm going to show you how to clean as you go, because otherwise you'll end up with some residue that burns into the stone, and that'll end up on the base of your pizza, and that's not a good thing. That'll upset the taste of the pizza. So we're going to be cleaning in between each pizza. I'll show you how to do that. I'll show you how to take care. I'll show you some of the tips and tricks, and also every so often we get a little bit of a fire in there, which we don't want. So I'm going to show you how to minimize that and how to get rid of it if it happens. So I'm going to start by putting the stone back. The only tools I'm going to be using today is the launch peel. It's always good to have the perforated style of launch peel, whether you use an OONI one or anyone else's. The reason for that is that once you do slide your pizza onto the peel, you give it a good shake, and that helps to get rid of the excess flour, because the flour in the oven and on the stone is going to burn basically, and it'll burn for the next pizza, and it'll affect the taste of your next pizza's base. Other tool I'm using, so turning peel. I find that with the OONI Volt, I don't need to turn pizzas as often as I do with the gas ovens, but I do need to turn the pizza. So I use one of those. And then this is the critical part, is a brush. Now OONI make a really good brush. You're going to notice that's quite burnt on the end. This is probably 2 years old, and it's been used in the gas ovens, and it tends to catch fire in the gas ovens or smoke up quite a bit. So don't worry about that. I mean, it's still quite good. You can see the detail on that. And there's a scraper at the end, which is good if you do have spills in the oven, like cheese or any food that spills off the pizza, or you have some wet dough that's stuck. You can scrape. You do need to be careful with this, because like I said, in that electric oven there's the elements, the electric elements, plus there's sensors and all sorts of other things. So we need to be really careful when we're using a brush inside the oven, especially when it's on. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to heat the oven up, go through the normal heating process, and then we'll start cooking and show you how to do this. Okay, so our first pizza is coming out of the oven. I'm going to leave that over there for the moment. Now we'll have a look at the stone. You can see inside. I'll try and zoom in. And there's a little bit of flour that's already burnt on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the brush. And I need to be careful with that scraper. I really don't want to hit the element or any of the sensors inside there. So just have to place the brush. And I typically just run it side to side, just loosen it up, and just scrape anything that's loose over to the side. Now this is just the first pizza. Once we get a few pizzas done, that refuse on the side is going to build up a little bit, and that's when we do actually risk getting a bit of a fire. And I'll show you what to do with that. So we get that nice and as clean as possible. It's not going to be perfect, but as clean as possible. Then we're ready for the next pizza. We're going to do this in between each of the pizzas. Now this is an example of where we've got some spillage from the pizza. We've got a little bit of cheese there, a little bit of dough that's stuck there, so we had a bit of a hole blown through the pizza there, which is our error. So where I use the scraper, just gently, just loosen it, try to scrape as much of that off. There's a lot of smoke that you'll get out of this as well, and you see there's the extra semolina and flour that's burnt there. So we scrape this Now I'm going to get a lot of smoke. I find if I close the door, that smoke stops, but we then actually increase this a little bit of a fire, especially when I pile it up on the side. So that's just kind of easy overcome. So what we do is just clear this up first. Close that, keep an eye on it, and see if any fire develops. And I'm not too worried. That there's the fire. So what we do is we can just open that up and just pat that down. Those little carbon bits will want to catch fire. Shake things out and they'll stop. So we'll just give that another sweep. Back. Line it. So that at least will leave the base nice and clean for the next pizza coming along. Otherwise, we'll have a bit of a burnt taste in the base. We're having quite the day today. Pizza number 2 has also had a bit of a problem. It's a very hot and humid day in Sydney in the middle of summer. So this one's also split, and we've got another little fire there, so I'm going to put that out. So this is the absolute worst that we would normally expect, which is probably ideal for showing you how to do this. So again, let's scrape. I'm going to expect a little bit more fire, because it's very hard to actually, because of the door arrangement, I don't have a lip here that I could actually extract a lot of these pieces. So I can spread them out a bit. If we know that I'm expecting that we're going to get a fire, we'll spread them out. Now, this is burnt, and that's not ideal, but what we can do is just let it burn off. And again, you notice that with the door open, you're going to get a lot more smoke. And if you choke it with oxygen, we will probably get a fire on the left side, I think, in that little piece of cheese. But I'm not too worried about those burnt stains, because they're more surface rather than, it's when we get the granulated burnt pieces of semolina and flour on the base that sticks into the next base that comes in. So I'm not unhappy with that. I'm not happy with that fire. Put that fire out. I can trap some of those larger pieces into the brush itself, and then I'll clean that out in a moment. I'll just get rid of some of these pieces. Well, hopefully the next few pieces will be a little bit better. One way to get rid of the bits of residue that's picked up in the brushes is just to get a fork. I come over the sink and just clean out that so I don't end up carrying anything extra. And you can see in the sink itself there's some of the stuff that's come off. So that's all you need to do with a brush sometimes in between pizzas. Okay. So this one's a little bit better. Let's turn that off. Got a bit of a clean, so this one doesn't need nearly as much clean, even though we've got all that residue, which is going to be really good to show you how to clean this oven from its worst case to its best case. So we will be getting that stone back to pristine condition, ready for the next pizza once we finish. We've got one more pizza to go, I believe, possibly 2, and we'll see how we go. Just to show you with this pizza that's just come out of the oven, Even though the stone was looking fairly burnt, all the residue was brushed to the side. If we have a look at the base, it's actually really good. So I'm not too worried with the right sort of colour on that. We're not getting any of that burnt artifact coming up through into the base of the pizza. That's just one last look at the pizza stone before we put a Panuozzo in shortly. Now, to finish off, we're just going to do Panuozzo, which is a pizza base without anything on it. But this is just part of the leftovers of the dough, so it's pretty small. You can see it on the turning peel, and it's going to be like a little bit of dessert. Alright, so the Panuozzo is basically puffed up. We just want that to cook a little bit more. It's kind of like a pizza dough bread roll, but we're going to stuff it with Nutella. Okay, that's ready. So I'll just put it over here on the cooling rack. Now this thing is seriously hot, so I do need, because the oven is so hot, let's come around this way. I'm going to hold it like that, and now a good thing about Panuozzo is you can use this as a sandwich, put in whatever fillings you like, and then you can actually just finish it off in the oven. It is traditional to make a much larger one and to have more of an oval shape rather than a round shape, but what the hell. So that's, you can just see how hot that is. So if you were to put some ham or cheese, or ham and cheese in there, but we are just, for this is a little dessert snack, just put tons of Nutella in here. You can never have enough Nutella in a Panuozzo, I've always said. I could have just made that up, of course. Okay, so do that. Give me a moment. Alright, put that on a plate. And there's four of us. We're all just going to get a bite each. And that is your Nutella Panuozzo. It's just absolutely yummy. We finished cooking our pizzas for the day. We did about 6 pizzas and 1 Panuozzo. We're left with a very dirty stone. And all I'm going to do now, the next process is just basically set the timer for 20 minutes. We're on maximum temperature, and we'll just try and burn off as much as we can pyrolytically. The oven's been running for 20 minutes on high after we did our last pizzas. Now what I'm going to do is just turn it off and let it cool down, and then we'll come back and we'll have a look at how the stone looks. It's important though, when you do turn it off, just turn it off there. Don't turn it off at the master switch, because I don't know if you can hear it. But the cooling fan's still running, and it's important not to switch that off. And if you turn it off at the power point on the master switch, the cooling fan will stop. I've let the stone cool down so I can pick it up by hand. And what you can see, it's still a bit warm, but you can see, if I put some light on it, you can see that a lot of that a lot of the burnt product has granulated and turned grey, so it really will be very easy to get rid of it. So let's just try. I'll put that camera down. What I use is a soft brush, a very soft brush, and this is all just sort of quite powdery, so a lot of that just comes straight off. And all we're going to do is this. So that's the stone that we cooked on. It's got a lot of staining on it, but this is the little trick. While we were cooking today, on the underside, it was in the oven, it's got an element underneath the stone. It was being heated and it was being cleaned. So all we do is turn that over, we slide it in like that. And that is a bit hard to see because there's not a lot of light here, but that is clean and ready to go for next time. And then the time after, the underside of this is going to look an awful lot like that. It's free of debris, it's nice and smooth. There's some stains, but they're of no real consequence. So that's how you clean the stone in the OONI Volt 12. If you've liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe and share this with your friends, and also click on that bell icon to be notified of when we upload new videos. My name's Andrew from Food Good. Thanks for watching.